So, a lot of people have been bothering me and asking me to cover the abysmal pacing and some rather interesting issues when it comes to the HAZBIN Hotel series. I really like it a lot. I think it's a very, very good show. And because of that, a lot of people think that I'm not willing to acknowledge flaws that it has. And it does have flaws. So right now, we are going to be covering a very slight and interesting topic that I happen to like a lot. And that is the Amazon Prime killed HAZBIN Hotel theory conundrum, okay? But that's just a theory. Nuxpiracy theory. All right, my little egg boys. I hope you're ready to get into the weeds of it. All right, so it all started when Amazon Prime went all out and decided to cyberbully me by making me a character in the actual show, and then completely cucking his Riz, annihilated the Riz. I have so much Riz, as my whole chat knows. But then Serpentious comes along, literally based off me. A lot of people don't know. Come and Boss W. Thank you, chat. Thank you. And let's recognize the fact that this man, not enough Riz. Like, that's my biggest problem with Amazon Prime right now. Like, the way they neutered his Riz, they gave him L Riz. Bro, now I have to have sex with everyone to prove myself, and I am not willing to be that guy. But on a much more important and prudent note, a lot of people complain about the pacing in HAZBIN Hotel because, for example, you introduced the V's in episode 2, and it was such an incredible introduction. You meet Vox, you meet Valentino, you meet Velvet. Velvet gets her spotlight in episode 3. Vox got his spotlight in episode 2. Valentino gets his spotlight in episode 4, you know, as rough as that spotlight was. And then the V's are freaking gone. You find out in episode 6, oh, 5 months have passed since the first episode. Huh? We're literally not spending any actual time in the hotel. The point was the hotel. It's called HAZBIN Hotel, and we're not spending any time in the hotel. Bro, every single conflict that gets brought up in an episode gets solved in that same episode. In episode 6, Adam says to Vaggie, "I recognize you, Vaginosaurus," which, again, greatest line in the entire series. Adam is incredibly based. And literally, in that same episode, it gets revealed to Charlie that she was actually an angel. All right? And that's just one tiny example. Episode 4, you have the major Angel Dust arc, right? You have Angel Dust being abused by Val, and it was horrible, and it was brutal to witness. And, you know, he hates everyone. He has this facade on life. We're starting to understand his character. Towards the end of that episode, you have the Loser Baby song, which, again, fantastic song, best song in the series. It may sound like victim blaming to people on Twitter that have no actual grasp on what reality looks like at all, but I personally think it was an absolute masterpiece and awesome. However, the fact that the entire conflict is basically built up in that episode and resolved in that very same episode, it kind of makes the series feel like it doesn't have cohesion from episode to episode, and I would really like to know and see how Angel's psychology would have evolved through multiple episodes. Introducing the Poison song in episode 2, for example, and introducing the Loser Baby in episode 4, for example, like they did, I feel like would have done a really great way to stretch out his character and get us to kind of based in who he was a little bit longer. I think that would have been a really, really nice thing. Like, for example, the fact that the V's, who seem to be some kind of super threat, they seem to be like a rival to Alistair, they seem like they're actually being some sort of threat to the Overlord community, all that stuff, and somehow they don't exist anymore after episode 4. You don't even see these guys, basically. So the pacing is a little bit all over the place, and it feels like they really need to handle every single plot point as often as possible to the aspect and extreme, and it just gets very, very difficult. The pacing is tough. You introduce Lucifer. Lucifer is this distant father from Charlie, and it's all very sad, and everything, the whole daddy issues gets resolved over the course of that single episode. Now, again, I'm not saying any of these are bad things. I just feel like the pacing is really, really fast paced. I feel like there are so many insane ways that this story is evolving and growing. The plot is fascinating, and the twists are great, except since you just don't have enough time to baste in any specific scene, somehow everything kind of feels a little bit rushed. And I'm not the only person that's mentioning this. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this I would like to say. First is, I think that this show could have benefited with every episode being a little longer. The second thing I'd like to say is the show could have benefited with 12 episodes instead of 8. Now, all that said and done, though, I think that this is also a very important thing that a lot of people aren't willing to recognize. When we're watching Hell of a Boss, or when we're watching an indie animation on YouTube, which is what this was kind of supposed to be, we are getting months in between each episode. If you look at the Hell of a Boss release dates, between each episode, you literally have months and months between each episode, which is annoying. You're 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, right? Like, yes, it's annoying as a fan that wants to just see the next episode. However, you could really start to absorb the lore of the show and theorycraft so much more. It becomes such a more integral part of the series that you can really just sit down and enjoy. And then when the next episode comes out, you've already completely absorbed the previous episode over the last couple of months of just letting it stew around in your head. And we didn't have that with HAZBIN Hotel. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I much prefer an entire season coming out weekly per se. However, I am willing to recognize the fact that it is a difference, and it is something that we've come to expect for someone like this. It's something that we've come to expect for Hell of a Boss and indie style animations, but it is not something that I think we should have expected coming out weekly. So let me tell you one thing that I do actually have as a complaint when it comes to Hell of a Boss, or HAZBIN Hotel rather. The fact that it's not coming out weekly and they're dropping 4 episodes in a shot and then 2 episodes and then 2 episodes, I feel like is really kind of killing the hype. I think that if they could have done an episode a week for 8 weeks, it would have been so much more impactful. For example, the Lucifer episode and the Heaven episodes dropped at the same times, 5 and 6. Now, both episode 5 and episode 6 were like every theorist and every person that likes the lore, it was their wet dream. The Lucifer episode could have given you a solid week worth of just sitting there and basting in the glory of our short king. And by the fact that it came out at the same time as episode 6, the story with the Heaven thing, which is the biggest twist in the entire series, the fact that most of Heaven didn't even know about the exterminations. Dude, you can almost forget about the whole Lucifer versus Alistair situation, which was incredible because of this whole new thing that was dropped on us. I really feel like spacing out the episodes to be weekly instead of just keeping all the episodes and dropping in bunches and bundles, it's not ideal for a series designed the way HAZBIN Hotel was designed. You're remembering, HAZBIN Hotel is designed originally as some indie series to be uploaded to YouTube with 1 episode every couple of months. And I know it was restructured for Prime, but still, every YouTuber wants every video to have an impact. If you watch an anime or a TV show, sometimes it can take several episodes to build up to a specific plot point. Most shows are built up in arcs. Even within a single season, you'll have multiple arcs. If you look at Jujutsu Kaisen, you got a 25 episode show, and every single one of those seasons of 25 episodes has a solid 4 or 5 arcs in that season, just because that is how it's structured. So if you just watch episode 2, it's not going to be a standalone great thing because episode 1 was the build-up, episode 2 is the meat and potatoes of the arc, and then episode 3 or episode 4 is the conclusion of the arc, which is awesome and incredible. And that's where all the themes tie up, and that's where all of the stuff happens. Now, very, very important to mention, that is not the case with HAZBIN Hotel. HAZBIN Hotel definitely does have an overarching plot stretching throughout, but they also want to have their cake and eat it with making every single episode a standalone. Every single episode has the build-up, has the emotional climax, and has some sort of conflict that gets resolved. Now, in the realm of YouTube animation, that is exactly what you need. You need every episode to hit. Every episode needs a beginning, middle, and end. But if they're dropping 2 or 4 episodes in one shot, then you could forget almost the impact of some of the conclusions just by the fact that you had a whole new conflict brought up and resolved that very same weekend. The fact that we didn't get to sit and enjoy the Lucifer episode, it was brutal to some degree that you had to just jump in immediately to the Heaven episode, which, don't get me wrong, was incredible. God damn, it was rough. Now, miscellaneous complaints that I have with HAZBIN Hotel and how they actually launched this this show. If you look at how HAZBIN Hotel did it, and I hate this so much as a YouTuber, okay? They uploaded the full episode 1 on Prime Video, and it got 3 million views. They also uploaded the full episode 1 on Vtube and got 6 million. Now, that is a total, for those of you at home, of 9.5 million views. Now, they uploaded it with the same title and the same thumbnail. They even used the same thumbnail. As a YouTuber, my guy, this is the worst way to make a video pop off. To upload the same video in 2 places, since it's the same video, those videos, it's not like it's gonna get double the views. Those videos are gonna end up in the recommended of the same guy. Now, that person might have already watched it on Prime. If they watched it on Prime, they're not gonna click on this video, which makes the click-through rate on watch time go down on the video, so YouTube itself will not promote it as much. Now, if they didn't watch it on Prime, they're only gonna either watch it on the Prime YouTube channel, or they're gonna watch it on the Vtube YouTube channel. Once again, killing the views on this video. This video, if dropped as a single upload on YouTube without having some sort of other place to just pull views out, and they did the same thing. First 11 minutes of HAZBIN Hotel episode 2, less than 1 million views. It just makes this show look bad. First 11 minutes of episode 2, less than 1 million views again. Dude, what are you doing? Either put it all on YouTube on one consolidated channel, or put it all on Prime. The way that they're uploading it is so mismanaged. and obviously it's still massively successful, but I feel like if you would have just had one YouTube upload of Overture episode 1 without the dual uploading with the same thumbnails on both channels, without the whole Prime thing, if this is, let's say, uploaded on YouTube a week before it was uploaded on Prime, dog, this would have 50 million views. All in all, I'm really happy that HAZBIN Hotel exists, and I know this was more of a negative rant and yap session that I decided to go through. The Prime numbers are very good, don't get me wrong. This is a complaint on Prime. I think that almost all the complaints here, when it comes to the structure and everything, is a Prime complaint. I feel like the fact that Prime didn't upload this weekly is probably the most egregious complaint that I have, but that said, it's a fantastic show, and I love it so much. And while I'll complain about the pacing and all that stuff, can I just conclude this yap session with just an absolute shout out to VivziePop, because my god, you created a beautiful thing. You started off as just some random person on YouTube following some dream, creating some kind of shit, some sort of situation where you're building a beautiful story, something that you love, and bro, it came to life. It came to life. It's on Prime. It's successful. I am talking about it. People are talking about it. You should be nothing but proud of what you have created. And to all the idiots on Twitter who are upset at her, cry more, idiots. Literally cry more. You are fueling the beast. You know, every time you are complaining about VivziePop succeeding, you are literally promoting her. This is the Hogwarts Legacy situation all over again. Palworld 2. Palworld's only big because idiots started hating on it and harassing. Freaking shout out to VivziePop for doing such a goddamn beautiful job. And to everyone out there that says that the Valentino Angel Dust relationship is bad and cringe and is cancel worthy, let me just remind you how absolutely horrible it would be if they got along. You want to create a situation of a pimp and his whore actually getting along and being besties? Homie, that is so much more dangerous and worse than actually making them have an abusive relationship, like literally most of them actually have. So thank you all once again so much for being here, coming with me on this journey. The pacing of this rant, I think, was awesome. And to everyone that hates yapping, I sincerely don't apologize for anything, because no one forced you to click on this video. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.